Shri Gurubhyo Namaha children, I welcome you all to another new session of your online English class. Today we are going to see a prose from chapter 3 of your 9th English CBSE book. Shall we go in children? So this lesson is The Little Girl written by Katherine Manswell. Let us know more about Katherine Manswell before getting to know about the lesson. So Katherine Manswell was born in 1888 in Wellington, and her famous works are The Garden Party and A Dill Pickle. She belongs to New Zealand and she was called as an unconventional writer or a modernist because she never followed the conventional methods of writing. Let's get started into the lesson. So this is a story about a little girl and her perspective of her father. Now all of us are raised in a family and we know about our fathers well. So some of our fathers will be strict, some of them will be jovial. So let us find what kind of father this little girl is having and how she comes out of all her stress and depression and everything. Let's get started and let us see the line by line explanation of this lesson. To the little girl, he was a figure to be feared and avoided. Every morning before going to work, he came into her room and gave her a casual kiss, to which she responded with, "Goodbye, father." And oh, there was a glad sense of relief when she heard the noise of the carriage growing fainter and fainter down the long road. So here we are introduced to the girl and the father. Okay, to the little girl. We don't know who is this little girl. So to the little girl, he was a figure. He is the father here. The father was a figure, a person to be feared, okay, and avoided. So we can understand the little girl was too much afraid of her father and she avoided him most. Okay, every morning. So this is the perspective of the girl. She fears her father and she avoids him. Okay, but the father, just see the father, every morning, okay, before going to work, he comes to the girl's room, he kisses her and says that he is going to go for work. To which the girl also responded. Responded means answered, okay, reciprocating with goodbye, father. Just a conventional family, yes or no children? The father, he comes and meets the child and says that he is leaving for office. We can understand the character of the father from this, okay. It's a very caring father. But this girl, to this girl, the moment she said goodbye father and the moment the father left, she was filled with the sense of relief. Her father has left. So that is how the feeling of the girl was. So she would say, oh, there was a glad sense of relief. And when she heard the carriage is a vehicle in which the father is going. When it is going fainter and fainter, when it is becoming inaudible, she becomes happier. The father has left. He is not anymore in the vicinity of the house. He has left. Now she is feeling relieved and happy. In the evening when he came home, she stood near the staircase and heard his loud voice. So evening when he came back, she would not go and greet the father or she would not go and hug the father, not normal thing. She would stand in the staircase and just listen to his loud voice. Okay. Bring my tea into the drawing room. Hasn't the paper come yet? Mother, go and see if my paper is out there and bring me my slippers. Kezia. So now we are given the hint of the girl. The girl's name is Kezia. And the father is now, after he comes home, he is just ordering, giving orders to bring tea, to bring paper, to bring slippers. So we can arrive at the character of the father. We can understand he is kind of an authoritative father. Okay. Mother would call to her, if you are a good girl, you can come down and take off father's boots. Slowly the girl would slip down the stairs, more slowly still across the hall and push open the drawing room door. So we can see whenever he comes home, he orders for tea to be brought into the drawing room, and somebody has to bring him in the papers, somebody has to remove even his slippers. So what the mother would do, she would coax the child. If you are a good girl, no, you have to come and remove your father's boots, like how all our mothers do. You know, they encourage us, they motivate us, saying if you are a good girl, you score good marks. Similarly, the mother is coaxing the child to come and remove the boots of the father. But this girl would slip down the stairs. Slip down means what? Walking slowly through the stairs, and when she comes to the hall, she walks even more slowly because she does not want to reach the drawing room. So, she moves very slowly and she pushes open the door of the drawing room. By that time, he had had his spectacles on and looked at her over them in a way that was terrifying to the little girl. So, by the time, okay, she already walks slow. By the time he could go and she could go and reach the room, he would have put his spectacles and he would look at her in a terrifying manner. Terrifying means frightening. In a frightening manner. Well, Kezia, hurry up and pull these boots and take them outside. Have you been a good girl today? So the father would say, come, Kezia, come, just remove my boots. And after removing the boots, you put it outside. Okay, and he also asks about how the day of the child was. So he is asking whether you have been good today, whether you are well behaved today. I don't know, father. You don't know? You stutter like that, mother will have to take you to the doctor. So the moment the father asked the question, this girl out of fright didn't know what to answer. She said, I don't know. She was stuttering. Stuttering means what? Repeating the same sounds or having difficulty in speaking. So the father is asking, why all of a sudden you are stuttering? So he calls in his mother and says that if she is going to stutter like this, she better be taken to hospital. Shall we move on to the next paragraph, children? She never stuttered with other people, had quite given it up, but with only father, because she was trying so hard to say the words properly. She never stuttered with anybody. Okay, she didn't have the problem of speech at all with anybody. She had given it up means what? Initially she might have had, but now she doesn't have the problem with the speech, but only with the father she is stuttering, which we can understand is out of fright. Okay, she is terrified to give the answer. She doesn't know. She is trying so hard to pronounce the words, making her to stutter. What's the matter? Why are you looking so wrecked about? Mother, I wish you taught this child not to appear on the brink of suicide. Here, Kezia, carry my teacup back to the table carefully. So, he is asking the little child, what is the matter? Why do you look like that? Why do you look so wrecked? Wrecked means what? Broken, sad. Okay, he is asking, why are you looking so broken? Why are you looking so sad? What is the matter? Like a regular father, he is just checking on the girl. What was the problem with the girl? Okay. And he is also telling his mother, mother, why don't you teach the girl to be pleasing, to be pleasant, to be happy? Why is this girl always looking wrecked and she is looking as though she is at the brink of suicide? Brink means the last moment or the edge is called as the brink. So when you look at the person who is going to commit suicide, so obviously anybody would try to commit suicide only when he is broken. So you could see his face, how it would be, okay, lost hope in despair, all these things. So this girl was looking always wrecked, broken. And here Kezia, then he is telling Kezia, you better take my teacup, but take it very carefully. He was so big, his hands and his neck, especially his mouth when he yawned. Thinking about him alone was like thinking about a giant. On Sunday afternoons, grandmother sent her down to the drawing room to have a nice talk with father and mother. But the little girl always found the mother reading and father stretched out on the sofa with his handkerchief on his face, his feet on one of the best cushions, sleeping soundly and snoring. So what this girl, whenever she saw the father, his father had big hands, big neck, his voice, everything was reminding this girl only of a giant. Okay, this girl never saw the father as a human. She felt as though he was a giant. Everything the father did was terrifying the little child. So on Sunday afternoons, we can understand that the father and mother are working and the little girl is left in the care of the grandmother. This grandmother sends the child during the weekends to sit and have a conversation with the family. Okay. When the girl comes down, she always finds the mother busy reading and the father sleeping. So she doesn't see a welcoming situation there. Mother is involved in her own business and father is better sleeping. Okay. So he would be soundly snoring. Snoring means what? The sound, okay, the nasal sound which comes while sleeping from the nose. Yes? Some blockage of the air causes the sound. Okay, so the father would be sleeping with his hanky closed on his face and happily stretched, and he would put one of his legs on the best cushions and just go and sleep. Yes, children? She sat on the stool, gravely watched him until he woke and stretched, and asked the time, then looked at her. Don't stare so, Kezia, you look like a little brown owl. So this girl, she doesn't know what to do, whether to go back or whether to go and call the mother and talk. So what she does, she slips inside, she sits herself on a stool. She sits there waiting, okay, for them to finish their work and come to her. So she would sit gravely, okay, without any thing, okay, she would just while away sitting there waiting for the parents, watched him until he woke and stretched. So she would just sit and watch and wait until the father woke. When the father woke up, he would stare at the girl. He looked at the girl and he would say, don't stare so, Kezia. Staring means looking at something for a long time or looking at something with fear or some confusion is called as staring. So the father is telling Kezia, why are you even staring? If you are staring, you look like a brown owl. Don't stare. That is what the father would tell the moment he woke up. One day when she was kept indoors with a cold, her grandmother told her that father's birthday was next week and suggested that she should make him a pin cushion for a gift out of a beautiful piece of yellow silk. So this girl was kept indoors because she was having cold. So the grandmother reveals that the father's birthday is falling on the next week, and she is also suggesting the little girl to give him some gift. And she also tells what to be given as gift. She gives the idea that you make a pin cushion, okay, and you make the pin cushion of yellow silk, okay, and gift it to your father. So every idea is given, every plan is made. So this girl is now waiting to surprise the father with a pin cushion made of yellow silk. Laboriously with double cotton, the little girl stitched 3 sides, but what to fill it with? That was a question. So laboriously means what? Involving lot of labor, okay, with lot of efforts. Okay. For the little girl, this making a pin cushion is a big job, yes or no? So, with all efforts what she did, she made a pin cushion, she stitched all the 3 sides. Now, the 4th side is open and it is waiting to be filled with something. Now, this girl is lost in her thoughts what to fill the pin cushion with. Something has to be filled inside it, only then it looks fluffy, yes or no children? So, what to fill it with, that was the question. The grandmother was out in the garden and she wandered into mother's bedroom to look for scraps. On the bed table, she discovered that great many sheets of fine paper, gathered them, tore them into tiny pieces and stuffed her case, then sewed up the 4th side. So, the grandmother was busy in garden. So, that time this girl was left alone. What she did, she wandered inside the house. Wandered means what? Moved inside the house or walked or roamed inside the house, for she was just moving around the house to find something to put in the pin cushion, wherein she enters the mother's bedroom. On the bed table there were lots of sheets. Great many sheets of fine paper was there lying on the bed table of the bedroom. So, what she did? She gathered them. Gathered means collected. She collected all the papers, she tore them into small pieces and she stuffed. Stuffed means filled. She filled her case. She filled the pin cushion and sewed up the 4th side. Sewed up means okay, this T is not there. Okay, she sewed up the 4th side. And now the pin cushion is ready. That night there was a hue and cry in the house. Father's great speech for the Port Authority had been lost. Rooms were searched, servants questioned. So, that night after she tore the paper and kept ready the gift, the night there was a hue and cry. Which means what? There was a huge drama going inside the house, everybody shouting, okay, loud noises in the house. And what was the reason for the cry? What was the reason for the loud noise is that the father's speech which he had made to deliver for the Port Authority is missing. Okay. So, every rooms have been searched, servants are questioned about the whereabouts of the paper, everything is done and no clue of the papers. Finally, mother came into Kezia's room. Kezia, I suppose you didn't see some papers on the table in our room? So, the mother is coming after everything was done, okay. The last resort was the girl, to check on the girl. So, the mother is coming to the girl's room and she is asking whether you had seen any papers. This girl was too young, okay, she didn't know what to do, she tore the paper. She says, oh yes, she said, I tore them up for my surprise. What? Screamed mother. Come straight down to the dining room this instant. And she was dragged down to where father was pacing to and fro, hands behind his back. So, this girl accepts that she had taken the paper and she had even tore the paper for her surprise. Now, the mother is in absolute shock. What she does? She is dragging the child to the dining room. This instant means what? Now, at the very moment. Okay, the very moment she is dragging the child down to the dining room. Okay, the father, what he was doing? He was folding his hands at the back and he was walking to and fro. To and fro is front and back. Pacing means walking. To and fro, I said back and front or front and back, or forward or backward. Okay, he was moving forward and backward, he was pacing very fast. You would have seen, yes or no, in movies, okay, they put their hands at the back to show themselves as busy, stressed, they walk and stuff. Okay, that is what the father has been doing. Well, he said sharply. Mother explained. He stopped and stared at the child. Did you do that? No, father, she whispered. Mother, go up to her room and fetch down the damn thing. See that the child is put to bed this instant. So, when the mother is dragging the child down, the father is able to understand. So, he is asking what's the matter. The mother is explaining that the girl had taken the papers and she had tore them for the surprise. So, the father is now, he has lost his temper. He is ordering his mother, that is the grandmother, to go and fetch the surprise. Damned thing is something useless. Damned thing is a useless thing according to the father. When compared to the speech or the surprise, speech was more important to him than his surprise. So, he calls the surprise as a useless thing. Okay, you go down and fetch the damn thing, and you also make sure that child is being put to sleep. Crying too much to explain, she lay in the shadowed room watching the evening light make a sad little pattern on the floor. So, she doesn't know what to do. She is crying and crying and crying, and she is just, in the evening she is put in the room, she is crying and she is watching the shadow of the door on the floor. Okay, and that is making her even more sad, and she is crying. Then father came into the room with a ruler in his hands. I am going to beat you for this, he said. Oh no, no, she screamed, hiding under the bedclothes. He pulled them aside. Sit up, he ordered, and hold out your hands. So, the father is now coming to the room and he is carrying a ruler with him. A ruler is a scale. So, he is having a scale with him in his hands, and he is telling, I am going to beat you for your mistake. And he is asking the girl to hold her hands out. This girl would already be frightened of the very look of the father, and now he has come with a ruler. She doesn't know what to do. She is petrified. Okay, she goes and hides herself into the bed clothes. But the father is not convinced. He is not willing to let go of the child. He is pulling the sheets off and he is asking to show the fingers, show the palm. Okay, and he says that only if you are being punished, you will know that you should not touch the things of others. Sit up, he ordered, and hold out your hands. You must be taught once for all not to touch what does not belong to you. But it was for your birthday. Down came the ruler on the little pink palms. So, this girl is trying to explain that she was doing all those things to surprise him for the birthday of the father, but the father is not convinced. He is asking the girl to show her palms, and down came the ruler. He beat the child, making her to cry and making the little palms of the girl pink.